So we now have episode 7 of The Walking Dead season 11. This episode is called Promises Broken, and if you haven't seen this episode as well as the other episodes in season 11, do not watch this review because this review is going to contain full spoilers for not only this episode, but the entire season so far. So in this episode, we have 3 storylines going. One I actually really loved and I cannot wait to see it progress, which is the Commonwealth storyline, which, judging off the comics, I found the Commonwealth storyline to be interesting, but I never found it to be amazing. Every issue I was looking forward to it coming out purely because it was a new issue of The Walking Dead. But the story, it just felt very slow and it just wasn't as interesting. But so far what we've seen from the TV series, it's extremely interesting, and I always cannot wait to see what's going to happen next. And I'm also really excited to see when we're going to see the Commonwealth storyline again, because we haven't really been getting much of it so far of the season. So far we've been getting a lot of the Reaper storyline. Now, we did have 2 separate kind of groups following with the Reaper stories. You got the one with Maggie and Negan as they're kind of understanding the ways of the Whisperers so they can bring a walker herd to the I think it's called Meridian. I'm pretty sure it's called Meridian. And then the other one is Daryl and Leah out on a hunt. I'll get them out of the way because I kind of found them to be probably the most uninteresting storyline of the episode. So you get Daryl and Leah, they're going out looking for Maggie in the group, just kind of going out there trying to find out any information. They come across this random guy. The guy is begging for his life. You hear on the radio, Leah contacts back. Pope says, just kill the guy. They don't kill the guy, they take him back to where he belongs so they can find out if he was telling the truth or if he was lying. The truth was that he was actually out there looking for supplies for his wife and child. You do go back, you see his wife and child. You see his wife is very close to death. I don't know what's wrong with her. It doesn't look like she was bit, but there's a lot of blood there. I don't know what happened to her, but she's close to death. And when she comes, or when they come, they do tell the son and the father to leave. They both leave, and the mother thanks them for that because she goes, if you guys didn't show up, they weren't going to leave me. I know they weren't going to leave me. And she was saying, I don't even think they could put me down. And it comes to a scene where Leah's getting ready to put her down, but Leah can't pull the trigger, really showing that Leah isn't as brutal as the other members in the Reapers. I feel like the rest of the Reapers wouldn't have even hesitated there. I think they would have put them down immediately. Not only her, but they would have put down the husband and the son as well. So you can see that Leah isn't fully happy at what they're doing. You can tell by her that she feels like they can do more than what they're doing. So it's good to see Leah kind of going down this road that she's going down now, and the fact that she's going down a redemptive road. And you can tell that Leah probably will join Alexandria because Leah isn't like the rest of them. She does have a heart compared to the rest of them. But you do see Daryl put the woman down. He puts her down not in the fact that he's murdering her. He puts her down because he knows that's the right thing to do, and that's the thing that the woman wants her to do. But he can see Leah cannot do it, so he doesn't want Leah to have to do it, or Daryl. To Daryl, I imagine it's something to have to kill someone. Obviously, he's killing someone. He's going to feel something. But I feel at this stage, he's probably he doesn't feel as much as he did at the start. At this stage, he goes, okay, we're gonna have to kill her because in a few minutes she's gonna die and she's gonna kill us. So we gotta put her down. So I think Daryl just looks at it as putting her out of misery, doing it for the greater good for her own sake. And you can tell by Daryl, it's something that has to be done rather than something he wants to do. And the other group follows Negan, Maggie, Gabriel, and the other guy who, for the life of me, I cannot remember. I think it's Eli or Elliot. It's something beginning with E, I think, but honestly, that I feel like I'm just pulling them out of my ass. I have no idea what his name is, but the whole episode is them, just Negan training Maggie in particular on how to be a whisperer. I imagine he was showing the other two, but we were just mostly seeing him train Maggie. Of course, they're choosing Maggie because Negan and Maggie have that little bit of a history where Negan murdered her husband, but they make a deal. Negan was literally on his way to leave at the start of the episode, and Maggie says, no, you can't go. All the same shit they've been going through since episode 3. And he goes, you know what, Maggie, I'll stay on one condition. I'll stay if you promise me that if we make it out of this, we're even. You'll leave me alone. I don't have to be checking over my shoulder all the time. And they make this agreement, and I felt like when Maggie made this agreement, she was making it and she was lying. But even she says it to this guy, Elliot. I don't know his name, but he says, he goes to Maggie, are you actually going to try, or are you lying? And she goes, no, I made a deal, I'm going to try my hardest to do that. And I imagine Maggie is going to try, but honestly, I don't really think it's going to work out. I don't see Maggie killing Negan, but by no means do I see them living next door to each other. I can't see that happening. But the whole thing of Negan showing Maggie how to be a whisperer, I did enjoy that. I didn't think it was as good as the Commonwealth storyline. Every time we went to it, my immediate reaction was, oh no, go back to the Commonwealth. But I did enjoy seeing them going through the whisperers, because we never saw anyone being trained in how to be a whisperer. Like, I imagine Alpha didn't show anyone this. I imagine Alpha just threw a mask at him and says, figure it out yourself. I doubt Alpha had a lesson every Tuesday evening at 6. So I imagine Negan was just kind of copying everyone when he was taught. I'd be very shocked if Alpha was there teaching people how to be a whisperer. So I think what Negan's doing is showing them. I just thought it was great so we can see how people do it. So people are always like, oh, now the whisperers introduced. Why are our characters not only just always wearing a whisperer mask? One, that's disgusting. Why would they always want to wear someone else's face on your face? Even Maggie says, she throws the mask on her and goes, it doesn't even fit. And Negan goes, of course it doesn't fit. It's someone else's face. I thought that was quite a funny line. But it was great to see that it's not as simple as just putting the mask on. You can be disguised. You have to act like a walker. You have to be a walker so the walkers don't notice you. I thought that whole thing was great. But once Maggie does master it, you see them go off. They're creating a herd and they're making their way to Meridian. I kind of understand why they're doing that, why they're going to bring a herd to Meridian, but also they're going to destroy the place. I get it why they're going there. They're going there to get food. They're going there to get supplies. But there's not a lot of walkers, but still, those walkers could destroy Meridian, and by destroying Meridian, that kind of destroys all your shit. So I guess from that point of view, it's a bit of a it's a lose-lose, I think. I think there's a chance you could get bit, there's a chance you could get killed, and there's a chance you can destroy everything. Like, it really is a 50-50 chance that you actually not only make it out of this, but all the supplies you're actually there fighting for are going to make it out of this. I think the episode's going to end, like episode 8, I think it's going to end with them destroying Meridian, and everything they went through to get all the stuff was just, honestly, I think it's going to be for nothing. I can't see them making it out here with all this food. Even this episode, we do get to see where all the food is kept, and they have a lot of food there. But I really cannot see Maggie and the group being able to capture all this food. I don't know what's going to happen, but I cannot see them going home with as much food as there is there. I'd be shocked. They might bring a carrot or like a barrel or two back, but all the food there, I don't think our survivors are going to be able to bring that back. And we don't see Alden in this episode either, who was, of course, with this group. I would say Alden is going to be in episode 8, but I think Alden's dead. I can't see Alden like living past episode 8. My death prediction for episode 8, of course, it's not our mid-season finale, but it's our break. It's our break in between episode 9. So I imagine our death for this first half will be Alden. I'd be quite surprised if Gabriel goes. I can't see Gabriel going. I would like to see Gabriel go into the Commonwealth arc. I can see him being Rick's death, him or Ezekiel. Maybe not Ezekiel, but I'm really leaning towards Gabriel getting Rick's death in the comic book series. He's the one I think can get it, but unless Gabriel dies here, I think he will get the death. But I don't really see Gabriel dying here. I feel like Gabriel's gotten so cocky now that he could die here, but I honestly see him getting so cocky, going through these events that makes him even more cocky. Same what happened with Rick. Like, Rick got so cocky before meeting Negan. That's why he thought he could take them on, because he was so cocky. And I feel like Gabriel's going to go down that path, and then he's going to be killed by I'm not going to get into that because it's a spoiler for the comic book series, but that's I can't see Gabriel dying here. I think the person who's going to die in this first half is Alden. Alden is a recognisable character, so it's a big death, but I think it's not as big as some people would make it out to be. Of course, Alden is probably a fan favourite for a lot of people. For me, he's just been one of those characters who's always been there. He's one of those recognisable faces inside of Alexandria, but he's never been a standout character for me. He's never been a character I've loved, but he is one of those recognisable faces that has been kind of more prominent in the last season, especially since Enid died. He's been a much more prominent character than he was before Enid had died. Before, it was more Enid and Alden. Now it's more just focusing massively on Alden. Even now Earl's dead, so he's carrying on Earl's legacy. He's carrying on the child's legacy. So Alden has so many people around him that have died. I think Alden's time is probably up for his character at this stage. And finally, my favourite storyline of the episode was, of course, the Commonwealth storyline. Last time we caught up with our group at the Commonwealth, they had all been arrested for using Commonwealth property without getting the proper permission to use the Commonwealth property. Their punishment is now they're outside the Commonwealth, which I think they said it was, but it looks like it's a housing estate and they're hoping to expand out into this housing estate, giving more houses for them. So our group is out there killing walkers, and there's a shit ton of walkers in these houses. I was kind of surprised by how many walkers were hanging out in all these houses. But yeah, so that's their punishment. They're out there killing. Eugene's out there killing. He's side by side with Stephanie. Ezekiel and Princess are together. Princess gets up in Ezekiel's face at one point, like in a not a, like I'm gonna kill you way, but more of a loving way, and saying, just give me some space. You're on top of me in here. It's a very tight space, and we're trying to kill walkers, and you're on top of me. Just take a step back. You understand where Princess is coming from. I do like Princess in the comic book series. I wasn't a fan of her. I found her to be very irritating. But in the TV series, I like her. I think the irritating elements that were in the comic book series didn't really work when you're sitting there reading a big long line of dialogue. But in the TV series, the way the actress says it and the fact that it's somebody saying it rather than you reading it, it works so much better in the TV series than it did in the comic book series. But because of that, Ezekiel, we know Ezekiel's kind of dying. As far as I know, he has cancer and his throat is swollen massively, and because of that, they're like, everyone's like, Eugene, Princess, they're all saying, we need to get him medical attention, he needs a doctor. And Ezekiel's like, no, if I did that, that's just gonna put up our bill even more, and who knows what's gonna happen after that. But then you, like, yeah, I can't remember the guy's name for the life of me now, but the guy who's in charge of it, I can't remember his name. But anyways, he says, no, we'll bring him to the doctor. Ezekiel goes off. Ezekiel comes back, and he says he's like as good as new. His throat, he looks so much healthier. He looks so much happier. And I don't know if it could be cancer. I don't know, but he's been given all these pills or whatever. So now he feels as good as new. He looks it. He looks great. I wonder if that's him cured now or whatever is going to happen. But you also see, first off, we get to see our introduction to Sebastian Milton. And straight away, I saw him walking down there with Mercer and his girlfriend and holding a picnic basket. I got so fucking excited. I got so excited by just seeing a character in the background, by seeing Sebastian Milton. And I'm not saying here Sebastian Milton is my favourite character, or even one of them. I hate this guy. I think he is the worst, and I can't stand this guy. And that was even before. Like, I'm a comic book reader. I've mentioned it a few times in this review already. So I don't like this guy. If you read the comic books, you know why I would not like this guy. But it was great to actually get his introduction in the show. You also could see Yumiko in a meeting. She's waiting outside of Pamela Milton's office to sit down and have a meeting with her. Pamela Milton's receptionist is actually the actual Stephanie. Of course, our Stephanie is the fake Stephanie. This girl, who the receptionist of Pamela Milton, is our real Stephanie. So I'm very interested to see when that reveal is going to be. I wonder if it will be before the break. I kind of would like it to be resolved instead of going in. And I don't know. I don't know when it's going to be revealed, how it's going to be revealed, but I am very excited. You can see Eugene's looking at Stephanie very odd because it's not really the real Stephanie. At least that's what I'm kind of led to believe, because this girl, who the receptionist, looks almost identical to the comic book counterpart. I'd be quite surprised if it wasn't actually the comic book version. But as they're going through this, you hear you see Sebastian Milton, his girlfriend, sitting there eating lunch. No one's around, and some walkers come up. Eugene sprints over, starts killing the walkers, and then also Stephanie comes over, starts killing the walkers. They're done, the walkers. They turn around, and Sebastian Milton gets up and starts shouting at them, saying, you ruined our date. And Eugene's like talking to Sebastian, saying, I just saved your life, why don't you say like a thank you instead of all this, going back and forth. And then another walker comes over. Stephanie's trying to get Eugene's attention about it. Eugene's like, no, hold on a minute. And he's talking to Sebastian back and forth. So Stephanie goes over, kills the walker herself. The walker's blood goes on Sebastian's date. Sebastian starts losing his shit, starts shouting at Stephanie, and Eugene does something that I thought I'd never see Eugene do. He punches him right in the face. It was fantastic to see Eugene punch him in the face. I got so happy for Eugene. I got so happy for Stephanie. I got so happy for everyone, because that guy got punched in the face. It was great to see. And as soon as it happened, you see the horror in Stephanie's face, like, oh my god, what the fuck have you done? Then Lance Hornsby, who's the guy, I couldn't remember his name earlier, comes up and goes, what the hell did you do that? What the hell? Why'd you do that? And it goes on. Eugene's like, what? I don't see the big deal. This guy's being an asshole. We saved his life and he's being absolute asshole to me and to Stephanie. Eugene then gets arrested, put into prison. We see Lance Hornsby going to visit Eugene at the end, saying, this could be a lot easier on you if you just tell us where your community is. Otherwise, you're going to spend the rest of your life here in this prison cell. All for just punching Sebastian in the face, who was being, honestly, Sebastian was being an asshole. But because he is the son of the governor, of course, Pamela Milton, he gets arrested. This guy gets special treatment. If you are not a comic book reader, if this whole episode here did make you hate him, let's just keep going and let me know when you actually do start to hate this character. He's very reminiscent of what's the guy's name from Game of Thrones? Joffrey. Very, very similar people. Very, very. I was kind of wondering, they should get the same actor, but of course I doubt the actor would do it. But they are very similar. So if you didn't like Joffrey, get ready for Sebastian. Sebastian's a terrible, terrible character. But if you want to hear my thoughts on episode 8, where I honestly, as I said in this review already, Alden's my depth prediction for this break. I can't even, the first third break. He's my prediction for who's going to die in this episode moving forward. I'm very interested to see what's going to happen. Apparently spoilers have come out already, so I'm going to hopefully watch that as soon as I can, because I really don't want to get anything spoiled for me in episode 8. But if you want to hear my thoughts on episode 8 as well as World Beyond episode 1, I've watched World Beyond episode 1. My review should be dropping soon enough for that episode. So if you want to hear my thoughts on either of those episodes as well, I think Fear the Walking Dead season 7? Is it 7 or 6? No, 7. Yeah, definitely 7. That should be coming out soon. So if you want to hear my thoughts on season 7 of Fear the Walking Dead, as well as World Beyond season 2 and episode 8 of The Walking Dead season 11, click the subscribe button to come back for all of that. And as always, thanks for watching.